Okay. Hi. So today what I'm going to talk about is English words that describe things. So um I wanted to review or talk about again some words that I've used before that talk about the different kinds of words we have in English. So nouns. Nouns are the words that are a person, a place, or a thing. So Julia is a noun because it's a person. A house is a noun, right? Because it's a thing. Bus, even the word anger is, even though it's an emotion, right? It's something that you feel, it's considered what we call a noun, which is a word that is talking about a person or a place or something, right? Something that you can talk about by itself. The next thing that we're gonna review is verbs, right? Verbs are action words. Walk, sit, take, live. All of these are things that you do, right? They're action words. Now, another type of word we have in English is called adjectives or an adjective. And these are words that describe something. So we're not just talking about the thing, we're talking about describing that thing, which means that we're using words to, you're using words that tell you about the thing. They aren't, you can't use them by themselves all the time, but you can use them to talk about other things. So, for example, house is a noun, right? It's a thing. But we can use the word big to talk about the house, to tell somebody more about the house. So, instead of just saying house, you can use the word big house, right? And that's an adjective. Big is an adjective. This word right here is an adjective. It is talking about what the house looks like, right? Then, for example, bus. Bus is a noun, but we can use the word loud, right? Loud bus to talk about the bus. So loud is an adjective because loud is like makes a lot of noise. If that's what it means, you can say, "Oh, that bus is loud." So you're talking about the bus. You are describing the bus. You are giving information about the bus. Why do we use them in English? Why do we use them? So I'm gonna show you why. So if somebody asked you, so pretend that you're sitting at a table and there are all of these pens right here. And somebody asks you, they say, "Hey, can you grab my pen? Can you grab my pen?" Now, if you had all of these pens in front of you, you would be like, which one do they want me to grab? Is it any pen? What pen? But if somebody said, "Can you grab my red pen?" you would know, oh, I know which one to grab. So that's why we use adjectives in English, because they help us to focus on a certain kind of object, right? The red pen. Can you grab my red pen? Can you grab my brown coat? We use these words that come before nouns, sometimes or sometimes after them, to say, I need this specific thing. So with adjectives, they help you describe things. They help you talk about food, people, places, activities, things that you do. That's what activities mean. It means like things that you do, like playing soccer is an activity. Now, what we're going to talk about today is not just adjectives, but these certain words we use to talk about if something is the most or the least. So the best of something or the worst, right? So I'm going to show you by showing you some adjectives. So we have the word food. Food is a noun, right? Food, food. But if we say good food, we're describing the food, right? We're talking about the food. We're saying this food is good, right? Now, if we have this word day is a noun, right? And we use the word bad to describe day, to talk about what kind of day. So if we say good food, it means it was yummy, right? It tasted good. If we say bad day, that means our day was not fun. It was not good. So we can change the words good into the word best, or we can say, instead of saying bad, we can say worst. So best means good, worst means bad. But it doesn't just mean good or bad. These two words, good, can be when you say best, that means it's good. But when you say the word best, it's more than just good. When you say worst, it's more than just bad. So what is the difference between good and best and bad and worst? So if you say, this is good soup, that means you are describing the soup. You are only talking about the soup that you're eating. But if you said, this soup is the best, you are saying that that soup is the most delicious. It is better than all of the other soups or any soup you have eaten. So when you say, this is the best soup, you're saying not only is it good, is it yummy, it is better than all of the other soup you've ever had. So that's what the difference is good is just talking about the soup. It's just describing this soup. But if you say this soup is the best, you are comparing the soup to all of the other soup you have had or the other soup that is there. So again, if I said Guadalupe is a good supervisor, what you mean when you say that in English is that you like her. She does a good job. But if you said Guadalupe is the best supervisor, what you're saying is you are saying she is a good supervisor, she does a good job, you like her, but you're also saying that she is better than all of the other supervisors. So not only is Guadalupe good at being a supervisor, she is better than all of the other supervisors. You are comparing her, right? Compare means to take two things and look at them. Compare her to every other supervisor. So I'll give you another example. So what is the difference? I have a good dog. So if I said, I have a good dog, here is my dog, I am telling you about them, I think I have a good dog. We're just talking about my dog, right? But if I said, I have the best dog, I'm saying that my dog is better than all of these other dogs. I think my dog is the best. I think that all of these other dogs are not good. Or not even that these dogs are not good, but I think that my dog is better than other dogs, right? I think that they do everything the best. So they're not just a good dog. I'm not just talking about my dog. I am comparing my dog to other dogs. So I'm going to teach you some of these words so you can remember them when you hear them, or you can use them. So we have the word small. So small is an adjective. It's describing something, right? Like, I have small feet. But if I say the word smallest, it means that whatever I have, if I say I have the smallest feet, I'm saying that my feet are more small than all other people's feet, right? So if I said I have the smallest feet in my family, it would mean that my feet are smaller than all of the other people in my family. So the other word that we have is big. Big we use to describe things, right? Then we have biggest. Biggest means it's the most big. The next one's short, shortest. Short means small, right? Like with like height. So I could say that I'm short. But if I said I'm the shortest, you're comparing, right? The word expensive means like a lot of money. If I say most expensive, that means, so instead of saying expensivest, right? Because these ones are just, you just add est to the end, right? Smallest, biggest, shortest. For this word, instead of saying expensivest, you say most expensive, right? So most expensive, it means it's the most expensive. So then we have weak, weakest, right? Weak means like not strong. And then you have strong, which is like strong, or strongest. So strong, you're just talking about the thing. But if you say strongest, it's the most strong. If you say beautiful, right? You would say not beautifulest, you would say most beautiful, most beautiful. So just try and remember when you want to make small into smallest, you just add est, smallest, biggest, shortest, weakest, strongest. But if you're changing expensive or beautiful, it's most expensive, most beautiful. So I'm going to do some more practicing with this. So if you said, I had a bad day, that means that, things were not good, right? I had a bad day. But if you said, I had the worst day, that means that you think that the day was so bad. It was more bad than all of the other days, right? So if you said, my phone was expensive. When I bought my phone was expensive. That's saying I paid a lot of money for my phone. If you said my phone was the most expensive, it means that you bought the phone that was the most money in the store. So when you went to buy your phone was more money than all of the other phones. So that's what it means. That's what the difference is. My phone was expensive. I paid a lot of money for it. You're not comparing it to anything. You're just saying, I paid a lot of money. My phone was expensive. But if you say, oh, my phone was the most expensive one, my phone was the most expensive, you're saying that I bought the phone that was the most money. It was more money than all of the other phones I could have bought, that I could have paid for. Okay, so this next one, let me move my my screen around. Okay, so if somebody asked you, so this is another reason why it's good to know this word. So if you said, can you bring me a bucket, right? Can you bring me a bucket? You would say, okay, I'll bring you a bucket. And there's all of these buckets. Can you bring me a big bucket? Sorry, not bring me a bucket. Can you bring me a big bucket? So the word big is describing the word bucket. So we need to find a big bucket. So all of these buckets look pretty big. So I guess I'll pick the yellow one. Or maybe you'll pick the black one. It doesn't matter. They just want a big bucket. But if you said, can you bring me the biggest bucket? If you asked that, can you bring me the biggest bucket? You want a specific bucket. You don't want any big bucket. You want the biggest bucket, the biggest. So you have to choose which one is the biggest, meaning which one is the most big, which one is bigger than the other buckets. And to me, it looks like this big black one is the biggest bucket. So you would pick that one. So for this one, it didn't really matter. You just needed to pick a big bucket. For this one, you needed to pick the biggest bucket. Which one is the biggest, right? So that's it for our lesson today. And we'll do some writing practice in the next lesson.